everyone, I'm Olivia from Houses Flipping People. I'm here right now in New Braunfels in Texas with Sharon, one of our top real estate investors, and she's ready to share with you how she became a real estate investor herself. Sharon, what a pleasure to have you here, getting to know your journey as a female, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, and a mother. So I'm super excited to get to know how you became a real estate investor. How did you get involved?
Well, thanks for having me, Olivia, and having this interview with me. It's all started about 2009. We were in a situation where my husband lost his job, and I'm a registered nurse, and I knew that the luxury house that we had, I could not afford it on my salary. So my husband took me on a journey, on a trip for 2 weeks in the car, and he flipped a tape in about some real estate classes. And I said, I can do that. And so we went to this class, and that's how we got started.
So which class did you went?
We went to a 3-day class with Phil and Shenoa Grove, and we learned about mortgage assignment. And so we started our real estate business at that time.
What is your favorite strategy when it comes to real estate?
My favorite strategy is either seller financing or sub-2 contracts.
Let's go back in time. Do you remember how was your first deal?
We found it through someone who had an assignment of contract. It was a scary deal.
What was scary about it?
It was cheap. It was like less than $20,000, and my husband and I overanalyzed the deal over and over and over again. Doing that deal, we actually made some mistakes. We put too much money into it, and then so we had to create another strategy.
What was the mistake that you did with the renovation?
We did too much. We just did all kinds of different things that we probably shouldn't have done.
How did you change your strategy of that particular deal?
What happened is we couldn't sell it for, to make a profit. So what we did was we leased it for a year, and we made about $40,000 on that deal.
How many years?
It was about 5 years.
If you go back today, what would you do if that deal comes to you with the same strategy, the same way from back then?
It was in a neighborhood, was more of a buy and hold for an investor for a long-term rental. So we ended up in a situation where we had to create a note and make money on the interest and on the final sale of the property.
For anyone that is doing their first deal, what would you recommend for them today?
I would recommend that they get some education first and get into a group where there's knowledgeable people that can help them along.
How much money did you make with that deal?
The property was, I think it was $18,000. We put, I think $60,000 into it. I sold it to an associate of mine who I worked with. She bought it, I think it was for $75,000. There was no profit there. It was really in the interest.
What were you doing before you became a real estate investor?
I was a registered nurse working for the VA. I'm retired. I was working full-time 40 years.
What it took you so long to even pay attention to real estate?
Well, because I was living a comfortable life on a W-2 income.
When you told your parents, I'm going to become a real estate investor, what was their reaction?
I had an opportunity to tell my mom, and my mom was really excited for me. Actually, she invested in some of my first properties.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister and a brother who has passed, but he actually did some of the work on that first scary house that we bought. We employed our brothers at that time. It was not a good idea. We never did that again.
What are the things that you remember that you learned from your dad growing up?
He always wanted me to be in a position where I could support myself. What my dad always taught me was location, location, location. So that's why he bought a house on a lake, and his property was in Florida on another lakefront property. And so he always made sure that whatever he invested in, he did well.
What was the fear that was going through your mind back then?
That I didn't have enough knowledge or experience, and I didn't want to make a mistake.
How about today? Do you still get nervous that you're going to make mistakes?
There's always that risk, and so you need to mitigate your risk. So what I've learned along the way is how to mitigate some of those risks.
What holds you back, and why do you think you resent a little bit on that?
If you have your own utilities like well and septic, sometimes if there's a problem, can be very expensive. And also, we were investing in a state that was highly regulated.
Do you remember with that particular deal, how much money did you make?
During the process with the cash flow, but when we made the profit, it was over $300,000.
What to keep you motivated to get up every day, trying to keep learning and growing when it comes to the real estate investing? Because being your own boss is all amazing, fantastic.
I think it's finding the deal. Finding a deal that will make money for myself and my partners. Also providing affordable housing for people and improving communities. I think that's what keeps me going.
What is your main key and how do you find your deals?
Right now I'm doing commercial real estate, mobile home parks, communities. My main strategy for finding leads right now is through relationship building with brokers. You want to be on their list for the first person that they want to call. So keeping good contact with them helps make sure that you're in their mind.
And what moment did you realize that real estate was actually going to work for you?
We're able to make enough money to quit our jobs.
Which month exactly did you realize this is actually real and it's true, this is going to work?
We bought a buy and hold and we started getting rent money on a monthly basis. It was nice to get that monthly check, and so then we bought another, and then I went to the auction and I bought another, and we started accumulating single-family home rentals.
This deal that we're going to be talking about, how did you find it?
It was in San Antonio. It was at a time where things weren't really selling too quickly. We're focusing in on a certain type. We wanted a townhouse or a condominium for rental property. I went and I started looking on the MLS. Actually, this deal fell off of the MLS. So I did buy it below market value because it needed a fix and flip. I bought it for $80,000. I put about $5,000 into it initially and rented it. We made $90,000.
How doesn't that make you feel when you made $90K on that deal?
It made me feel pretty good.
So what did you do with that money?
Well, some of it went into a trip and some of it went into an investment.
Could you say you're proud of yourself?
I was not as confident as I am right now. It was, real estate has brought me out. It has taught me that I can believe in myself and be confident as a person or a woman in real estate. It has really been helpful.
How many years did you went for college for you to get your degree as a nurse?
I went 4 years and then 2 more years for my master's.
So how long did it took you to actually learn real estate?
A 3-day course, but then it's experience too.
What is our network worth for you today?
My network is very important.
You have all the experience, you have the money. Why is it so important?
Well, it's because I might be able to help somebody and they may be able to help me. They may be looking for a specific thing that I can give them, or if they need help with, if they're new, to analyze a deal or to close a deal, I can help them with that.
Have you accomplished any of your dream since you became a real estate investor? Have you bought it? Have you gone on any of your dream vacations?
Well, I do real estate to take my dream vacations. I still have many more on my list, however, but I think the biggest trip for me was going to Antarctica, stepping on the 7th continent that I've visited, and that was really exciting.
How long since you had that dream and then you made it become real?
Well, it really didn't become real until I started real estate investing.
So you had that dream even before real estate?
Yes. I had the wanderlust to go on vacations. That dream came every 3 months. I was planning a trip, and we've taken our family on trips.
How do you don't get lost with the process and still being heard on the table?
You really need to analyze and know your numbers, because a lot of that is very technical. So if you know your numbers, and then you know your area of commercial real estate that you're investing in, then you can speak to it. When they ask you questions, you have answers.
Is they're open up a little bit more to welcome from the female side?
If you bring experience and they know that you have the wherewithal to close the deals, they will listen and respect you and take you in, and as long as you're willing to build those relationships.
How can you manage to be a mother, a wife, and being working full-time with your husband and still have a beautiful relationship with each other?
We enjoy talking about it. It's sometimes we have to go, can we stop for 5 minutes and not talk about real estate? It's fun. We always are talking about the deal and getting excited about life.
How many deals have you done since you became an investor?
We have done about 250 doors.
Do you feel today that you are living your dream?
I can say yes, it's a pretty good dream, but there's always desire to want to do more.
Why do you still want to keep growing as a real estate investor?
It makes me feel like I have a purpose in developing friendships and giving back. If someone comes along and I meet at a conference that might be struggling with something and I can give them a little tip about something, it makes me feel good. There's something very rewarding about being able to give back.
Who would you like to say thank you that you are here today?
I would like to thank my husband, because if it wasn't for him, I would not be where I am today. And I would like to thank you for having me here today and to really going through this interview with me.
Do you see yourself retiring anytime soon?
I thought I was going to retire from real estate, and then once I got to that point of selling most of my properties off, I decided I can't live without it.
Now that you achieve all this success, what is next on your agenda?
I would like to continue doing investments in single-family homes and commercial real estate, continuing with coaching at a different level.
Why coaching mentor is so important for you? Why would you even spend money on coach or mentor at this point?
Because sometimes you need the help to get to the next level, and you need to be talking to people who are at that next level, because if you don't do that, then you might never get there. So coaching is very important because they can give you the experience and the guidance.
And when do you choose the coach for you?
I need to find a coach that brought a mentor that brought somebody else that I know to the next level. It's usually in your network that you will find that coach for yourself.
We are excited that you spend the time sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Again, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to maybe doing some deals with you, Olivia.
I can't wait. So I'm ready, because I'm actually transitioned from residential to commercial.
Great.
So we appreciate you taking the time, sharing your journey with us, and I can't wait for everybody else to learn how can they follow your footsteps and to be a mom, an entrepreneur, and a real estate investor, and keep going. I think that's why we're here sharing our journey. Thanks for that, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Olivia.